Well, yes, another video where I show off more of my collectibles. Anyways, this is part of my record collection. Again, and these are all the jazz and blues records I have in that collection. Yeah, I had recently. I just had my interest in jazz and blues has been rekindled. Gregg Allman's last album he released, yeah, solo album. It had a bunch of classic blues standards and all that stuff. You know, it's quite a wicked blues album. It really reminds me of all those blues records that came out of Chess Records catalog. You know, that record has such a feel to it. Well, anyways, so it did rekindle my interest in jazz and blues, and well, let's flip through my collection in those two genres, shall we? Okay, so here's George Benson. Another George Benson. Dave Brubeck, rest in peace. He recently passed away. Rory Buchanan, excellent guitarist. I kind of like this one. Of course, me being a recently converted vegan, I don't really favor this album cover anywhere. As you can see, it's some sort of butcher shop down in Australia, which has Roy Buchanan's namesake. And here's the Paul Butterfield Blues Band. This is a double album compilation. And there's Canned Heat. You guys are gonna have to move. My two cats. Yeah, Canned Heat's debut album. Here's Boogie with Canned Heat. Canned Heat's third album, double album. It's called Future Blues. No, Living the Blues. Future Blues was the record they released in 1970. Canned Heat's Collage. Now, I believe this is the best bass player that ever lived. Totally, Stanley Clarke. He was one of those jazz rock fusionists. Or should I say jazz rock funk fusionists? Because, well, given at the time, when he went solo, after he did some time and returned to Forever with Chick Corea, well, he decided to strike out on his own, I guess. Anyways, here's his debut album. And there's the second album, Journey to Love. School Days, classic. And here's his first collaboration with George Duke. As you all know, if you're a fan of Frank Zappa, George Duke was part of one of Frank Zappa's many lineups in his bands, Mothers of Invention and so forth. James Cotton. There's more James Cotton. And 100% Cotton. Dr. John, the Night Tripper. I think I refeatured this in another video. It's part of my psychedelic collection. I'm not sure. Downchild Blues Band, classic Canadian blues band. Straight up classic. There's their other album entitled Road Fever. This is Fleetwood Mac's Then Play On, blues rock classic. And this was before Fleetwood Mac morphed into that, that mellow California pop sound that they're more well known for. And this is Buddy Guy and Junior Wells. They did a collaboration, I guess. John Lee Hooker's Free Beer and Chicken. Hot Tuna. And of course, Hot Tuna was featured two members of the Jefferson Airplane, Jorma Kaukonen and Jack Cassidy, in the late 60s, and this was their debut album. It's a live album. Charles Lloyd Quartet. This album was recorded at the Fillmore in San Francisco, well-known psychedelic venue back in the 60s. Hugh Masekela. He was part of the Monterey Pop Festival that happened in 1967. And my favorite British blues guy of all time, John Mayall. This is live in Europe. The Turning Point. Empty Rooms. What's this? Memories? Yeah, that's a photo of him when he was a young lad there. Moving on. Holy crap. Fred McDowell. What's he famous for, Fred McDowell? I never knew it. I forgot I had this. Why did I buy this album? I don't think I have listened to this one yet. Thelonious Monk. Did I say Thelonious Monk? Thelonious Monk! Monk Mysterioso. Powder Blues Band. A blues band that formed in Vancouver. Preservation Hall Jazz Band. Sun Ra, or Sun Ra. Buddy Rich. Tom Scott. And as you know, Tom Scott is the saxophonist of his jazz rock fusion band called LA Express. And his band recorded with Joni Mitchell for a couple of albums, Court and Spark, and Joni Mitchell's live album, Miles of Isles. Seagull Schwal Band. Al Shankar. Now, I include this in the jazz and blues section because that record just had that feel and fuel. Anyways, this was produced by Frank Zappa. He makes an appearance on here. He performs in one of the tracks. It's called Dead Girls of London. And he performs it under the pseudonym of Stucco Holmes. Gabor Szabo, that great Hungarian jazz guitarist. It's another Gabor Szabo album. Another Gabor Szabo album. Gabor Szabo. Why did I call him Gabor Zabor? Big Mama Thornton. Stanley Turrentine. Don't mess with Mr. T. The baddest Turrentine. Should be called the Badass Turrentine. Another Turrentine album. And Stevie Ray Vaughan. So anyways, that's it. Is there any more? No, that's it. Okay, well there's my jazz and blues record collection. I hope you enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for more of my collection videos. Until then, take care.